Good day, this is Dimitri Lascaris coming to you for Reason to Resist from South Lebanon on June 7th, 2026. I'm currently standing on a hillside overlooking the southern tip of the Beka'a Valley. Down in the plain below, you can see the southern tip of the valley marked by a freshwater lake known as Qaraoun. And the reason why we've come here today from Beirut, traveling over Mount Lebanon into the Beka'a Valley and then back up onto this chain of hills, which forms part of what was formerly referred to as the anti-Lebanon mountain range. The reason why we did that is because at the southern tip of that lake, the Qaraoun Lake, lies two villages, Meshkara and Sokhmor, two Lebanese villages which have been hit repeatedly and hard by the Israeli military in recent days. And in fact, Meshkara sustained at least one strike today. So our goal is to get down as close as possible to Meshkara and Sokhmor and to record any strikes that might happen while we're here. Hopefully we'll see none. But the way things are going, there is a significant probability that there is going to be some military activity that will be visible to us. I'm going to share with you first, before I show you what we find down in the valley below, some of the footage that we shot when we were driving up into this hillside from the Beka'a Valley. The villages that we passed through and that we are currently in, there's a village right here that I'm standing on the edge of, are predominantly Sunni villages. Further below, to the south, the villages become increasingly Shia in character. There are also some Christian communities here. But in any case, the villages that are being targeted are, to my understanding, predominantly Shia. So here's what we saw as we were driving up into this hillside from the Beka'a Valley today.
So we're right now in Africa. And I'm not joking here.
Yeah.
We're in Africa. This is part of the African plate. Okay. The Qaraoun Mountains are actually the limit of the Arabian plate. Okay. And the African plate continues through the, all of the Dead Sea Valley and the Gulf of Aqaba, through the Dead Sea Valley, through the Hula Valley, through the Beka'a, all the way to Iskandaron in the occupied parts of Syria that are now in Turkey. Okay? This whole coast is actually part of the African plate.
Over on our right here, it's Mount Lebanon,
This is Mount Lebanon.
and Beirut is on the other side of that mountain.
Beirut is, that way, but now we're on the other side of this mountain. This part is actually Saida. Okay. And so the Qaraoun Mountains and Mount Lebanon chain meet at the end of the Beka'a Valley, and the Qaraoun Lake is situated at that point. And then those two mountain changes their name. You've got the Golan, goes like this, and then you have the Hula Valley and the Jabal Amil, or the Galilee mountain chain or hill chains, open up like this on the Hula Valley.
And so the lake is where these two mountain ranges converge.
Exactly.
What's the name of the lake?
Qaraoun Lake.
And that is more or less the source of the Litani River?
The source of the Litani River is actually the Golan Heights. Okay, all of the water in South Lebanon, in North Palestine, in North Jordan, and in South Syria comes from the watershed of the Golan Heights. So the Jordan River starts in the Golan Heights. The Yarmouk River starts in the Golan Heights. The Litani River, the Orentos that goes north, all is from the watershed of the Golan Heights. This is part of why the Israelis want to take this, because if you control the Golan Heights and its watershed, you basically can starve people in the
Control
whole
where the water goes.
Exactly. You can divert the water away, and then Lebanon starves, or Damascus starves, or Jordan starves.
Right. So, but the water coming down from the Golan empties into this lake, and the lake then feeds the Litani River.
Yeah, so
the lake we're going
the
to.
beginning of the Litani River comes before Qaraoun Lake, and then Qaraoun Lake is there, stops the river to have a reserve in the dam, and then the river continues down from the other side of the dam.
Now, I've been told repeatedly that the Beka'a is a relatively high degree of support for Hezbollah, but unlike when we're driving in the south of the Litani River, or even along, inside Sur, you don't see too many images of martyrs here or Hezbollah flags. Why is that?
The south part of the Beka'a Valley, or what is called Western Beka'a, where we are, is not a Shia area. It's mainly Sunni. And as we get closer and closer to the Golan Heights, we're going to get more Druze and Christian villages. Okay, so
right.
The Shia population concentration in the Beka'a Valley is in the center and the north.
Right.
So these are all Sunni. This is a Sunni village. That's why there's no flags of Hizb or Hamas or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still support for them.
They support the resistance, yes. Look, there's a sign that says Jerusalem 212 kilometers.
And of course, it's impossible to actually drive there because of the.
Yeah, you've got the border.
So the whole reason why we don't want to go south of the Litani River is because the south of the Litani River is no-go zone. With Israel attacking Beirut, there's no such thing now as a no-go zone or a go zone.
I mean, attacking Beirut, they're going to do it from the air. In the south of Lebanon, south of the Litani, you could be hit by artillery.
Also, there are large sections of Beirut they're very unlikely to strike.
Yeah.
So the whole purpose of these so-called ceasefire, like 5 days ago, was that there would be like a line of demarcation.
Yeah. They want to have the right to stay where they are, and the Lebanese government was going to give them that. And Hezbollah is like, go fuck off. We're going to fight them until they leave. They're not going to be allowed to stay anywhere and, demolish everything and, or occupy it forever.
These villages up here are stunningly beautiful.
Yeah.
So these are we now into areas that are predominantly Christian, or are they still predominantly Sunni?
Did you get a DGI?
I did. It's in my knapsack.
Inside the water, on the other side, what a mess. There's fishing or swimming people down there. Must be a beautiful thing.
We have now descended almost to the edge of Lake Qaraoun. We are on the eastern side of the lake. On the other side is the Mount Lebanon mountain range, and beyond Mount Lebanon lies the Mediterranean coast of Lebanon. Down in the valley below, you can see the southern edge of Lake Qaraoun, which is demarcated by a dam. And beyond the dam, up in the hills, is the Lebanese village, predominantly Shia Muslim village of Mashkara. And then over here behind me, I'll give you a better view of it in a moment, is another Lebanese village known as Sokhmor. Both Mashkara and Sokhmor have been hit repeatedly and hard by the Israeli military positions up on Mount Hermon, which is off in the distance. We can only stay here for a very short period of time. We are told by colleagues from the Lebanese media, from the media organization Al-Afdal, who accompanied us down here, that we have come closer to the dam than any journalists have come during the hot phase of the war, because of the potential to be struck by Israeli forces up on Mount Hermon that have a clear view of the dam. And in fact, on May 26th, the Israelis killed a Lebanese soldier who was crossing the dam on a scooter with an artillery strike from those positions above. So that is the reason why we have to make haste. But before we go, let me give you a closer look of Mashkara, Sokhmor, and the mountain on top of which the Israelis have established military positions. So beyond the dam and on the other side of the hills, immediately in the foreground, is the Lebanese village, a predominantly Shia village known as Mashkara, which has been struck repeatedly by the Israelis during this hot phase of the war. And over there, that is another Lebanese village. It's called Sokhmor. It too has been hit hard by the Israelis during this war. And up on the hillside here, you should be able to make out in the distance some snow remaining on top of that mountain. There are Israeli military positions up there, and that is, I believe, Mount Hermon. And this is the direction from which we just came as we descended into the southern tip of the Beka'a Valley. That is a beautiful demonstration of the Lebanese spirit of defiance. Two mothers and four small children walking in the beautiful sun alongside Lake Qaraoun, despite the dangers posed by the occupier. Rami and Laith, thank you for joining me. We were told that we are the journalists who have gone the furthest in the direction of the dam, the closest to the dam during the hot phase of the war. Laith, could you take a moment and explain to us why this is such a perilous position for us to be in at this moment?
Well, obviously we're in the line of sight of Israeli bases on the top of the occupied Golan Heights, and we've just heard today the first ever time since the year 2000 that the Israelis used artillery to hit the Sahara Valley here. So before that they were of course using drones or jets. So that means that they've stationed artillery, howitzers and whatever it is very close to here that they can do a line of sight firing. So we are right now, they know that we're here. This is why it's dangerous. And obviously having you as a Canadian Greek here gives us a little bit of safety. My or his Canadian citizenship is useless because we have that dirty blood that the Israelis don't like. The air blood in us, we're citizens and what have you.
And of course, the brazen murder of Shireen Abu Akleh, an American citizen of Palestinian origin, tells you all you need to know about their willingness to murder journalists of Palestinian or other Arabic origin. Rami, you are part Lebanese. This is the first time I believe you've come down to this area. Regrettably, you're having to do it at a time of a terrible genocidal war being waged on this country. How do you feel being down here?
Well, coming down here, as our friends here from Free Palestine TV were telling us, is that there were at least 11 martyrs in the village of Genocidal, which is a stone throw away. Really, we could see from our own two eyes. A week ago, a Lebanese soldier was crossing the dam and also got targeted. To know that Israel has a capability of damaging the dam that is generating electricity for the south of Lebanon, it feels, frightening is not necessarily the right word, but definitely we're in a place in Lebanon that is high risk. But I think that it's important as Arabs, beyond being Lebanese, Palestinian, or whatever, to show that as Arabs we can move freely across our land. So it's an act of defiance that it's not these semi-permanent Hauser missiles and artillery that is going to stop us from accessing our land. And I think it's a statement that we're doing here, to be wandering around. We've seen some people swim through the lake Qaraoun, and I think that's a beautiful statement of self-determination of our own land. And it's not Israelis that have been here squatting our land for the past decades that are going to stop us from doing that.
Well, thank you very much, comrades. We probably should hightail it out of here while we still have our legs attached to our bodies. Well, we just heard warplanes overhead, at least one, possibly more than one, and then came an airstrike on the village of Sokhmor, which we witnessed, and I managed to capture the immediate aftermath of the airstrike on video. Here is what we heard and saw in the past few minutes.
We've been hearing Yes. You know, this jet could be going to the Dahi, because as we know, just minutes ago, the southern suburb of Beirut was attacked for the first time since the quote-unquote ceasefire between Iran and the United States came into effect. So we're back to possibility of full war in the region. I think they are definitely heading towards Beirut, this jet. Clearly everybody is worried right now with this. We can hear it close. At least 4 missiles hit the Dahi. We're gonna get out of here because things are pretty dangerous. I was wrong. Try to hit.
You could hear the warplane flying overhead, possibly 2 of them. That is a strike on Sokhmor. So clearly the situation has become a little bit too dangerous. We are now leaving this area and are on our way back to Beirut. Hopefully you found this video to be informative, and if so, please like and share it. And if you're not already a subscriber to Reason to Resist, please become one, and please help us to expand the reach of our unapologetic resistance journalism.